According to the Pew Research Center, 1 in 10 eligible voters in 2020 will be members of Gen Z.
And really want to make the difference now instead of waiting until they become the elected leaders. They actually want to make sure that the elected leaders are listening to them.
And as young people head to the polls, many are thinking about student debt and how the pandemic is affecting schools.
They're going to require even more funding, and their kids are definitely losing a lot of their chance to learn.
Focused on the election, the National Education Association supports policies that fix inequities laid bare during the pandemic.
Our students lack access to the resources and technology that they would need to do remote learning. And so we call that the digital divide homework gap.
This public school behind me relies on taxes to fund their educational programs and learning opportunities. However, Trump's Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos, pushed the Education Freedom Plan, which diverted this money to private schools.
And so students, whether native or newcomer, Black or white, Latino or Asian, deserve what I had. All students deserve a high quality public education so that they will have the chance to be the citizens that we need them to be, and more importantly, the successes that they want to be.
Biden says he supports tuition-free public college for families that make less than $125,000 a year. Trump, meanwhile, prioritizes school choice in for-profit colleges, according to the National Education Association. Jim Reed of the Illinois Community College Trustees Association said the ICCTA advocates for equitable distributions of funding.
If we are not providing that funding, unfortunately, what will happen is that we find, and studies have shown, that students drop out of college. Oftentimes, they don't come back.
Biden's education plans heighten the federal overview of education. Vice President candidate Kamala Harris promotes policies to close the teacher pay gap and fund STEM programs at historically Black colleges. Trump's campaign seeks to diminish the government's role in public education by cutting relief packages to universities.
And that we really should be trying to do all we can to ensure that diversity, equity, inclusion are part of not only our curriculums for students, but also training for staff and faculty, and also the community at large.
Heading from the classrooms to the polls. Mikayla Denault, Northwestern News Network.